So continuing on the topic of expanding our horizons and including communities reading out the poets that we wouldn't necessarily think to reach out to, who may not know about us, we thought that this year would be a good time to start including a section by a guest editor that we would invite. And so we invited Preeti Shah, who is a phenomenal poet that featured recently with us, and I asked her if she would be interested in doing something like this, and I was astonished at how much enthusiasm and just how dedicated she immediately became with this task. Within a day, she reached out, maybe within half an hour, she reached out to poets that she admired and knew, encouraging them to send something, and sent in a really, really wonderful section of 20 poems by 20 poets. So at this time, I'd like to invite Preeti to come on stage and say a few things about the process, about what the experience, and just introduce the poets who happen to be here today.
Thank you so much to Red Wheelbarrow and the group of Gang of Six, and I just feel like I felt immediately ever since I came into this community, it's always been so welcoming. I've always gotten so much love, each and every one of you, in some way, directly or indirectly. If I've seen you on Zoom, I've seen you through this platform, or I never got a chance to see you. I hope by the end of tonight, I can personally just thank you. In some way, you've really helped me grow, so thank you for that. I got that opportunity so nicely. The Gang of Six reached out to me, and I had great mentorship and guidance from Anton and Don, and so much support from Claudia, Moira, Arthur, Frank, so thank you so much for that. Otherwise, I have no idea what I was doing. It was my first time, so they really took me under their wing. I really appreciated that, and it was really also the poets in the back. They're in the back right now, but they made everything I did so much easier. They made that process of editing, formatting, and just the communication was back and forth. So it really was a very collaborative effort, and it made that much easier. So thank you to all of them. So I want them to come up, and I want them to be able to hopefully speak more on their poems. So, okay, so I think the first will be Morgan Boyle. Yeah. So please.
I knew that was coming alphabetically, but I was still like, oh wow, cool. So my poem is on page 197. It's a poem about just a number of days that happened after the 4th of July. And I was just running around doing life, and then wrote these poems about it. Summer poem. No one will let me lick the bricks. I am too poor to see where the midtown fancy glass bricks are installed. Instead, I build transparent mazes in dreams, smooth, rounding, and endless. Spent shell of a country. Ran out with the sirens, not the explosion. Neighbor kid blew his fingers off. Felt American, everyone outside comparing burns. Child's fingers blown off, and then I kissed a stranger in a music video. Maybe there were still fragments of bone on the street, but a strange tongue is in my mouth, and somebody fed me the sweetest melon. Yeah!
I don't know if he's here, Michael Cunningham, are you here? Okay, yeah, come on.
Let's go.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Preeti, for reaching out to me and asking me to write this poem for this anthology. It's on page 201. It's called Things Rumi Taught Me. Tonight, find me down in the lake, in the cold waters. Find me naked under the full moon, round like the belly of a woman with a child. I have heard your whisper, and you have made me drunk with desire. I am in the waters with my arms open, feet in the mud, being reborn. On Sundays, I used to go to Mass, be squeezed onto benches with wood too hard to sit on. Tonight, this is my church, and the moon, my communion.
Okay, that was really beautiful. And now we have Cassidy Gabriel. Come on down.
Cassidy! Oh, please accompany her with your applause.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Preeti. My poem's on page 206. Mouth, disambiguation. A man yells all the way from 7th Avenue to Canal, and you can tell by the sound that it's an elegy for a person still living. There is a wideness in God's mercy, but only as wide as the yelling man's mouth, shaped into an O like the one in Monk's Scream, ringing out in lament. Over the Manhattan Bridge, I dream of an empty body. I've lost where my hands begin and my arms end, so I dream of a body without hands or arms at all. A body without a body at all. Tonight I climb out of this body of nothing and back into my own mouth. What I'm trying to say is, in New York, sadness is a potluck. So the Q train and I turn animal, which is to say we forget to measure time. We tend only our hungry bellies. When we haven't anything nice to say, we howl at the moon. Tonight, she grows a mouth to howl back.
Yeah, freaking wow. So,
from the G's.
Daniel Gasparo, come on down.
I don't know if it's okay to mention that I think that the request was sort of like a poem that speaks to some spiritual aspect. I forget how you phrased it, but just that it was requested that we write something in the spirit, to honor the spirit of William Carlos Williams. And so, it's like, there's so many ways you could go about that, I guess. But I chose this poem, little warning. There's some expletives in here, bringing Brooklyn to the house.
Well, that explains so much.
At any rate, I don't know if any of you know, but Ezra Pound was kind of a mentor to William Carlos Williams, and they were friends through the University of Pennsylvania. I think they've been referred to as having a 60-year collaborative, it was a friendship of collaborative quarrel. So, I'll leave it at that for now. Okay. Study break. Ezra Pound can kiss my ass, I thought, as I passed a pumpkin patch and overheard a boy say, "This one, Dad, with so much whim and here and we, There was no option near as sound than to turn my bookwormed day around and make it memory upside down. This scene, this now, these red oak leaves. Ah, manifesto, noun. Treat the thing like a trick gone wrong, a song that jaunts as it songs along. Yes, finger points, yes, crackly mounds, and fuck you and thank you, Ezra Packer.
Okay, next we have Stella Lee.
The language wasn't working for the last one. Stella Lee!
Good evening. You can find my poem on page 212. I'm a bit under the weather, so I apologize for the nasality of my tone today. But I felt that this poem really exemplified what I thought of that was the spirit of William Carlos Williams. And it's about motherhood, as I'm a mother, and as I think of my own mother, whom is no longer mentally with me. Missing. Comfort. A place that remembers me from inside the folds of your skin. The smooth alabaster of your belly as I listen to the muffled sounds of your body. Your hand on the side of my cheek. The warmth in your voice as you massage my feet before bed. You, your warmth. Me forgetting what is important. Sunlight on a summer evening. The smell of humidity attached to my skin. I fear, hold close to my chest, my heart. Memory curves its head into knives and stitches each letter into scars that plump with reminders. There is a pang of wanting. It pushes my lungs out of my throat to grip the air-kissed magnolia leaves. Can we stay longer in the fading? Watch ripples in the pond as water lilies find light through murky waters. I ask myself, what is missing? Dreams like a blurry edge, specters of minutes, days and hours, stillness and shade, me holding your hand, feet leaving adventures we are meant to take, stillness on the edge. Thank you.
Next we have Seth Leeper.
Seth!
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you so much to Preeti for inviting me to submit a piece to this collection. I must confess, I don't remember a prompt, so this has nothing to do with William Carlos Williams. However, I hold him I have much respect. Also, can we give a hand to our young high school poets? That was they give me hope in a dark time that hopefully will be not so dark. So the only thing I guess to know about this poem is it is from a manuscript of mine called Double Feature. It's broken into two parts. The first part is called Anatomy of a Star. The second is called Of Men and Monsters. So the first section follows the speaker as he's chasing his father through non-physical planes, so celestial, space, what's another one? Astral. And then the second part is maybe self-explanatory, but deals with trauma, and the setting's more realistic. So this is a little bit more philosophical, and the speaker is, I guess, maybe trying to grasp at, the edges of reality. So it's called, so it's on 213. And it's called, You Tell Me There Is Time for Everything Under the Sun. But what if the sun goes black? Someone pulls on the lamp switch and blip goes the sun. Lights out, night-night, a permanent eclipse. What do we do then? Do we become shadows camouflaged in the dark? Do we make a new thing? Or will we survive at all? Science tells us no. But what about the energy we carry around us? We might fade into black, but our energy is still there somewhere, wandering around the ether, looking for the light switch, looking for our families, our faces. Will I have a nose as a shadow? Will I be able to smell the smoke from the doused flames? Will it smell like camping or oblivion? Will I have eyes, a heart? What binds us together into perpetuity when we are nothing but atoms and good intentions?
Okay, that was amazing. And Tonga Leslie, come on down.
Thank you to Preeti especially for the invitation, everybody who organized tonight. Wonderful poetry community here. This is a poem that I wrote in the aftermath of the pandemic, although the pandemic's still happening, but the beginning of the reopening, where I was reconnecting with a loved one for the first time since they left New York in the big exodus and came back. It is on page 214. It's called Reckoning. Yesterday, we came out from the ashes. 600,000 dead. The sun was shining. We had dinner. It was my first time seeing you in months. Your cheeks had filled in. I saw a gray lock in your hair. So you admit it. You've gotten older. So you admit you too will die. We asked for more water and lingered beyond the bill that you'd already paid. How immense it is, the giant tale of everything that exists.
So powerful. So, is anybody else from Brooklyn Poets out here today? I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Okay, so it was such an honor to work with all of you. Thank you so much for your readings, and thank you so much to Red Wheelbarrow Poets and the Gang of Six. And I don't know if, is it okay if I read my poem now, or just later on?
Yeah.
Later on?
Go for it.
Sing out, Preeti!
Preeti Shah, come on down.
Okay, so this will be on page 42. No borders. No one knows where exactly in this Queens neighborhood a step to the left becomes Sunnyside and a step to the right becomes Woodside. But we each refill the 32-ounce Slurpee cup of ramen for the woman with 5 blankets who sits under the 46th Street subway station. There are no borders, my Greek patient tells me. God made this world only green and blue. We are the ones who drew the lines. In my dreams, Indians and Pakistanis, calligraphy, beautiful scriptures in sand to erase the arbitrary distance by oppressors. Even as I wake, God's eye is shaped like the open ventricles of the world. A masjid and church are on the same block. I received the blessing of 2 fathers' watchful gazes. Each language that is spoken here blooms like the invisible names made seen by graffiti over bars and bricks. Thank you.
So a special round of applause for Preeti Shah, the guest editor. Our first guest editor. More to come. So we're going to have a little 5-minute break now. And then we're going to get to the old guard, the guys who've been submitting to the Red Wheelbarrow year after year. So please, we have 2 bathrooms. We have outdoors for smoking. And come back in about 5 minutes, okay?